Hi everyone, it's Jen from My Eye, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the holistic review. Now, with that being said, we're going to take a look at this. Because sometimes I feel like, hey, this is coming through this week. And when I'm seeing bird flu, it's so derogatory because you look at it and you say universal precautions were used, droplet, airborne, everything, but everything is like, as a nurse would say, this looks like a crime scene in here. This looks awful. This is awful. Like, how could you do that? This is awful. Like, this is actually their empathy coming through. But like I said, I had heard something through the grapevine that, having empathy is a sin. So when I look at this completely and I see the Jack of Hearts, it has to come through so hard but yet so soft. It's like cutting through butter that you have to say, where is the bread? It's not ready yet. Soda bread is not ready until a certain amount of time. So when I look at it completely on a review, I actually have to look at this and I have to say, this Three of Clubs comes through and says, there is no through or luck on it, but really it's a do. It's a do. It's a goodbye. It's like do in. Something about do also, like humidifier. Something about that. So when I see this and I see this Four of Spades, it is a crew that comes in and I see testing, but this Ace of Clubs comes in and says, confirm Wuhan was really correct. It really was correct. So when I look at it and I say this Nine of Diamonds, it really is like a playing game of cards right on the table, right in front of you some days. And when I see the Ten of Hearts, you can't even like look at court, like it's obstructed from view. When I see this, and I actually see this, and it's like this Queen of Spades, like I'm so angry on how it plays out for the holistic. It's really not the best of the week, but I have to say, you have to get it done. You just have to get it done. It really is a push on like anything else. So when I see it and I go, the Queen of Spades to the Two of Spades, it really is hardy, like you're working in pairs. It's right on the table, the fruit. They can't even see past their nose. So, when I see the Seven of Hearts, I say, yeah, I'm kind of not surprised by that one. They have a large fever. They're really, have a fever. This Ace of Spades comes in and says, no, we were really well planned. There's really nothing going on. There's really nothing to talk about. It really is the OSHA crew. And when I see this, then I see the Seven of Spades. They're going to be looking through all in all to make sure it's off the desk. So when I see it and I see this Jack of Diamonds come in, it's the paperwork, and there's the supervisors signing off on things because the King of Diamonds came in and it's the executive saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then I see this and I see the Ten of Diamonds. It's right there on the table. You've been educated. You've been re-educated on what to do, on what not to do. It's right there. It's right there. Audit. So when I look at it and I see this Five of Spades, it's going to come through like a black pen that's given, but really it is this Ace of Diamonds that is coming in from another territory. Lastly, Queen of Diamonds, it really comes in a little bit harsher when it comes in. So when I look at it and I say, this Eight of Hearts comes in so hard that you can't even sue it. It's like a pretty penny on the diamond, on the ground, in the dirt. Where's the jar of dirt still? Still looking at it. All right, next. So, when
when we look at this and we say there's really nothing in review per se, let's move this around a little bit here. You can't even get it right. You can't even get it straight. Like, this is how it's going to be. I had to show you guys as I adjust this picture that it's my badge. Thank you. So when I look at it, it doesn't look like a mugshot. It looks like something that Slew had hit me in the face 2 to 5 times. And when I see it, and I see this energetic sovereignty, observing what is not yours, zoom out, and there's common ground. Thank God, we all look the same. So when I go and I do it to the highest degree, it says, pave a new path and be the leader you wish you had. But you are. So the last time some people had done that, and it wasn't someone in their scope of licensure and their badge and all of that, that you had to say, it didn't really work out. So let's try this. So here I am. I'm actually like I'm seeing new employees come in because, you know, they were told they had to leave. They're still disheveled. It's the reserves. It's the reserves. What is it? Outsourced. Healthcare was outsourced. I knew it. I knew it. Share your song, frequency of sound, and diving deep. I do see questions on the table. It's such a joke at this point. Everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. Just leave it right there. Yep. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. We're still kind of going through that Mercury retrograde, Gatorade on the table. Yep. Shut it down. There it is. That's all you need to know. Why? Because they already know. They already know. Yep. It's spread right there, right from your Gatorade bottle. Right there. The wild card for healthcare this week, mainstream, is really looks like the Ace of Clubs, but really it's the Queen of Diamonds, but really it is a knock on the door. It really is a knock on the door. It's the family members watching everything come through. Now, crystal grid, transmission, activation, light body, orientation. Then I see Horus energy, protection, loyalty, stuff, public safety, normal. Then I see action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. That is usually social work. And then when I see this, remember, you're a team. Call in support. Thank you. That's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know. And then it's happening. Keep holding the vision. There is a breakthrough. There is a breakthrough from all these like purging moments where we don't understand Wuhan. We don't understand anything else going on. Now, what I see for the FDA, meeting adjourned. Then, so when I look at it through and I see the CDC, no, the DEA is literally sucking on lollipops because cough drops are banned. DPH is going about and looking at birds. Why not them? You just don't even want to know why. Community healthcare, we got it down, we locked it down. It's good, it's well, and everything through and through, all in all, is well. And we're not poking fun. That literally is a week. Look at their gate. They won't let me in the door. I knew it. Yep, that's the nursing homes. So when I see this and I say it is a bit dictatorship and it is a bit judgy, it is judgy. You can't even go in there at all. That you can't even see it whatsoever. But I have to say, there really is no talk to the residents. So when I see this, there is this type of like marriage and partnership of what's going on. You have to say they might be having some memories of keywords and code words for them that they hear in the news, and they're just going to start doing something. Habits, old habits die hard. They are attuned, they are aware, they still have instinct and intuition, a lot of them, and they're going to do what they're going to do. It's going to cause difficulty. It is not a rise up, but they are sources. Be open to talking to the sources. This is definitely when you're sitting with everyone, especially the elderly right now. They do have some clear judgment. So when you're out and about and they're still able to recollect a few things, they really do sit with honor. And when I see this and I look at everything, that you have to say there is a point of like family discontent, and it's going to cause a pause. But a lot of them already know how to take care of themselves, especially if they live through certain eras, because old habits die hard. There's a lot of options for you, but I bet you any money, there's nothing. There really is nothing. They're so planted and so well grounded and prudent, and it's something like manifested already. I bet you any money it was a word to a ground to be a bay around like certain times of the year to certain numbers on the calendar, and they're not superstitious. Word got around pretty well. So you might see this like ill called money follows the person at times, depending on how it plays out. But when I look at it, there really is no struggle about it, especially at T19. When I'm looking at this, there is no luck about a lot of things, even people on Social Security and disability. But I see that coming in faster for them. You can't make it up. It's not foreseen, but it's just all of a sudden right there. There is some skill that has to come through, especially anyone who's helping them and being a little bit savvy, but still legal and lawful. There's some, you're going to still come through with, there's like hidden motives around this energy this week. And it's okay because it's a new journey. It's a new like beginning. And when I see this and I see the Knight of Cups, it really is good everything coming towards those who needed help right now. Absolutely, Space Cowboy. Go ahead and start typing in your questions. It really will help complete a lot of cycles. That's what we were talking about in a lot of the videos over the last few days, but it's still not always like the best of the week. So when I look at this, it is a bit deceitful, and it's going to feel a little like constraining, and for a lack of a better term, some might say hostage, but it really is constraining on all agencies on certain things. And it's really difficult to move on, especially with transitions. But really it has to do with about like rest, the energy of rest, and not being like complete. So when I look at this, it really has good foresight. It really does. Someone with instinct and intuition can literally see it. So there is going to be a bit tense and to a point of like hypervigilance, but it really had to do with like ill contracts. It really was nasty what came through. It's so unhappy. And when I'm looking at Department of Social Services and I'm looking at how certain people actually on TikTok were seen like with these young children, they were peddling, begging for food. You have to say something was wrong. Absolutely wrong. So I have to say, moving on and transitioning and walking away with certain things, despite no matter what it is, it really is good because you have to say, maybe some people actually really do have to be alone. Some people have to be a little bit more solitude, and some people actually like did well being alone and they're ready to move on, depending on the situation. So when I see this and I see this, it's like a yearning of balance, more ways than one in the medical community, especially this one. Holistic, I'm not seeing a quite yet on this like merger that's happening. But really, it's this Queen of Cups that comes in that's so attuned to and like instinctive, intuitive, and it's multiple people that they have to say that you just can't even know it. You just can't even know it. You can't even see it. So when I look at this completely, it is a lesson of a struggle, but it really has to do with like a sharp ending. That's all this death card in reverse means. That's all it means. So that is actually a question on the table a lot, especially in healthcare, especially in behavioral health and mental health matters. Is if you're a good person or not. Now, this individual right here is saying, yeah, like I do see that you really are a good person, and you're really hard to get, and you're really hard to get along with at times, but you know prudency so hard that you just can't even get by. You can't even say anything about that. You're like, no, 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 no. You're definitely a no first because you saw it, you heard it, you felt it already. Probably even before they walked into the door. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. So that is where that is going to come in through. That's a lot of community health care. So, sometimes when we get to that point and we say, are you a good person or not, it really has like a cutting away of logic that will come through. And it really seems counterintuitive that you have like no senses whatsoever. But really, when you get to that point, you're almost at like, for lack of a better term, like almost like ESP. Like you can feel it a little too hard to where you can hear it too hard already. So when I see it and I look at it, and it's not always everyone, that you can look at this Five of Swords and it looks like a thief in the night, but really it's a give back. Communications are actually a little bit better because of everything going on. And it's come through all forms of communication to where it's too hard, too fast at times. So the offerings are going to be a little bit like, not this week. But lastly on this really is the steal. This really is the steal. That's all you need to know. Definitely a lot of uptick of more severe anxiety. All right. Let's go to the Cashapp Tarot. Yes, you are. You are a good person. I see it, I hear it. All right. So when I hear this, this is what it's like. Dry cloth. Balance. A lot of imbalance. So just to reiterate, yes, Space Cowboy, I do see you. I do hear you. You are a good person. That's all you need to know. Caught in the ruins. I don't feel it, but there's something about being caught in the ruins and no balance. Archangel Gabriel in reverse. the divine physician in reverse. They're like a holistic doctor, but they're not. The light of the world in reverse. At dark, it's like dark chocolate. Dark chocolate. The water roses in reverse. The posies during November. World War I. The scribe, highly documented. Highly documented. When I see this, there's no diversity. It has nothing to do with DEI. So when I see this, and I see summer, and I see winter, it really is the in-between phases of the seasons. So when I look at this and this Akashic field, it has something to do with some people, how they season their food. That's causing like energy imbalances. So when I look at this and I see Archangel Raphael, it's like when you're doing PT/OT and you have your stress ball, they can't even hold it right. There's no juxtapose of the rotation on some people. Something neurological, but it's not. Hard to tell, hard to tell. So with this, the Master Artesian, you've got to be creative healthcare workers when it comes to these odd illnesses. You've got to think outside the box. And so when I see it, that is where a lot more commitment comes through on paper. So when I see this, go look it up and go research. It's happened before. You want to say Asia, but really it happened right in California in 1956, 1959. Something about polio. And then when I see it, when I see the willow, I actually do see the willow tree really hard when it comes to this. When it comes to this big healthcare, it's very fleeting. On track. I have to say they're on track, a lot of these patients, on care plans and point of care. There's something about being in a routine when it says this Ark of the Covenant with everything about themselves, even their religion. So when it looks to intricacies and the industry, look how it's built up. And then when you look at it, will, wisdom, and mind, it really is going to be a takeaway if someone comes in just to visit and their energy is off. And the lookout, there really is nothing hard to say about them, but it's not the best, those lookouts. So when I look at this and the Queen of Scrolls comes in, watch the documentation. Watch the documentation this week. When it gets to a certain point, it's something all of a sudden like a ball of energy hits. And that is the clearing of the way of what they need to know. So, yes, you will. You will be able to. Just gauging the energy. It's just not to be known by me. Not to be known by me. All right. At this current moment, no, but other places that you go, but they won't do. They won't go and they're proper, they're respectful, and they want you to come towards them, but you have no interest. You're just like them. All right. Next deck. recklessness, you're going to literally turn around. Your instinct is almost going to feel like psychic blended. Yep, there are people attracted to you. All right. Not well planted. Eight of Swords, kind of hostage. And lastly, with this one, mastery of skill. It's going to feel like the nursing homes to the step-down units to the assisted livings. That it is like a hostage to what some people have called a house arrest with home care. To the point of where you want to say that it's, it's done, but really, it's this. It has something to do with the sleep in the night that they have to be around. Those type of individuals who work there are nasty, and somebody is kind of slacking around. So when I look at that, I say I want to shut that down, but really, where is this coming from? This is an odd conversation that actually I'm saying that you need those facilities because they're more susceptible to a lot of things, especially post being in the hospital. Literally, really, it has a lot of family discontent and friend discontent, and it really, really hurts, and it causes chaos, and it really, to the point it's heartbreaking. But when you look at it, you have to say, this was actually a good thing. A good thing. It really was a proper, marriage of, ideas with healthcare, of merging them together and bonding it. Because it caused, endings of issues as far as, community health. It's not something that they want right now. They feel it's ill, and they feel it's dirty, and that it's highly dishonorable. But really, this is really nasty where you just can't even understand it. So going back to the chat. Yes, there are. I'm reiterating, there are people who are attracted to you. They are around you. It all depends on the location. You will break the no contact with that individual. You'll be able to finally hash it out. You are a good person, but like I said, there's somebody egging this on. This is nasty energy. They gotta draw it out. They have to draw it out. I actually have to say, draw it out. Nine of Pentacles, it's not anything, and that is also true for, community health. All of a sudden, people are doing more labs on something. This is, for some people who are in, the nursing homes, it's this, addiction. They love it. They love it, and everyone rolls their eyes and they love it. They have to have it, and especially at get-togethers. And it comes in so quick that it causes a struggle. And then, the nursing staff and medical staff are not, in a victory, and they really are just contented when it happens. But really, it's to, preserve something. You can't even believe it. There's no logic in it. We're not to know what it is until it's right there. There is no teamwork in it. But when I see this, the Seven of Cups, it truly is grandiose thoughts. When they're like, no, when I take this, it is. And that is how it all starts with society right now, with this new
presidential term and everything starting. It's such a passionate start when it ends up in a nursing home. And you can't even understand how it got there. And you have to look and you have to say, yes, it is true. It really is true. The Two of Pentacles in reverse, there's no balance whatsoever. It's so imbalanced, even monetary, that it's trickery. It's trickery. There's no financial beginning. What are we talking about? This is all the way up to the FDA and CDC. Again, this is back forth all week. All week. All forms of the meaning and spelling. It is a prudent path, though. It really is. It was right there on the horizon. It was just the energy and the fog. And then when you see it, you go, no contracts. It was bad. It was bad. You don't have to be military or law enforcement or anything like that. This Knight of Wands is going to be a halt stop on passion start sometimes, because it's coming in like this form of judgment. It's so odd, but if you've been in healthcare long enough, you're going to understand how